So, good news. Apparently, there's a new student coming to Web, and they're a really, really strong chess player. Also from Australia, and apparently their rating is roughly 2000 FIDE. So, that would mean that they're about the best for our age group nationally. So, I want to prepare for a game against him, because it'd be, well, be an honor to beat him. But if I don't, then that's also great. I mean, I get to learn something. It's been a really long time since I've had someone beat me offline in person. So I can't wait, honestly, to having my ass handed to me. But anyway, in the morning, as preparation, I decided to read some articles on how to beat higher rated opponents. And here were some things that I found. So what you want to do is you want to diverge from theory. You don't want to play stuff that your opponent's going to be familiar with and probably more proficient with. So playing openings that are fairly common, you don't want to stick to. Um, what you want to do instead is you want to try and make it complicated, and you want to make it a unique game as quickly as possible. So um, that's one thing to do. The other thing you want to do is you want to try and make the position as complex as possible. You want to make it full of tactics so that if your opponent does slip up, which is entirely likely in complex positions, then you'll come out on top. You just have to, calculate carefully, or else you'll be the one slipping up and dying quickly. So, this is a game that I played against a 1920. So not the highest person I've ever played, but pretty high since I've come back from the trip and all. It's been a while since I played. But anyway, so keeping all those things in mind, I played this game. They were playing Sicilian, which I was a little bit annoyed by, just because Sicilian usually transposes to a more positional kind of game. What I wanted was one full of tactics, and unless they played the dragon, I wasn't going to get that. So here we go. And right off the bat, I was pretty happy they played e5, because it is a sharp move. It's almost Slavic, in fact, and, well, the Slavs in chess are pretty aggressive, so I was happy. Uh, anyway, the best move is to bring your knight back, but I wanted to play it aggressively, because they are higher rated and I need it to be sharp. So, the reason I played it up here was to try and take advantage of this pawn and to stop the bishop from coming up here when I put my bishop here, pinning the knight to the queen. So now they can no longer play the bishop here to stop this pin, because if they do, I take, they take, I take here, and suddenly the queen is under attack, the knight is under attack, and they're pinned. And let's see what the best move is. Look at that. The computer thinks that a position where the black queen has died is actually more advantageous for black than one where the queen survives. So, basically the reason I played all of this was so that the bishop couldn't develop, so they couldn't castle anymore. Now, they decided to bring their bishop out anyway, and I was happy about this. Though the place they did put it, the place they put it though was fairly good. I mean, it stopped my knight from moving, which is going to be annoying because I am attacking the center with it. So for a while I was thinking, how can I stop this pin? I don't want to bring this back because it's already up here and in his face. This would just be counterintuitive. So what I ended up doing instead was just go on the attack. So the king moved to this square, which was sensible. I mean, it's closer to the rook. And I decided to put my bishop here. So if the knight moves, then the king would be under attack. No matter where it goes, it would be under attack. So, anyway, they decided to play their queen up here. The reason being, there are two pieces pinning this knight now, and if I try to defend, then they will end up doubling my pawns. So if I were to say, or actually, if I went to defend, let's just say I played some silly move like this, they would take, I'd take, they'd take, and they've won a pawn, put me in check. This rook is under attack. I don't want to block with the queen because then I just, simply lose a rook. So I'd have to bring my bishop back to defend, or I'd have to move my king and stop him from being able to castle, which would also suck. So anyway, this was a fairly good move overall. but my move came in with check, so this was sort of, I didn't care about it in the meantime, just because I could win tempos. I had more tempos. They decided to take with check. Now the reason they didn't take here was, yeah, simply because, yeah, wow, look at that. So basically, the reason they don't want to take with the queen is because after the queen moves, let's just say they go here, then the knight is able to take this pawn, checking the king, and now I have 1, 2, 3 pieces, while they only have 1, 2 minor pieces. So I would be up an entire piece. Not only that, but their king would basically be, you know, all out in the center. Their pawn structure would be ruined. Things are just looking, you know, pretty damn good for me. Anyway, so he decided to take my knight. I was calculating a line where he played something along this, so that, you know, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, so I spent about a minute thinking about this move right here, which I now realize is silly, and I wasted my time because there is a bishop there that can take. So this is well, a good example of where I calculate for no reason, and I don't even realize that there's a piece that could stop all of this thing. So my idea was after this, and then this, and this to me was checkmate. But of course, there's a bishop that can stop it, and there's nothing to even think about it in there. So